Now, Cam, before we get to the movie that we're looking at this week, we have to introduce our very special guest. Joining us on our adventure is a man, a myth, a legend. He is a writer and author, and he is a spy movie aficionado. It's Mr. Stevne Kobrin. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Scott. Hello, Cam. Nice to see you guys. I'm a big fan. Thanks for having me.
Oh, great to see you.
Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And I want to talk about the book you've brought out, The Man from Belize, in a little bit. But before we get to that, and before we get to this week's film, this is your first time on SPYHARDS. And whenever we have a guest for the first time, we kind of need to check their spy credentials.
Yes.
Just to make sure they're up to snuff sort of to talking about the films.
Okay.
So I suppose, you've written a book about sort of spies and espionage, but where does that love of spy movies come from for you?
Okay, so I think it probably all starts with 1977, because born in 71. In 77, I was 6, had my first exposure to the world of Bond. Spy Who Loved Me was the film in 77.
It's the biggest. It's the best. It's Bond. And beyond.
That probably was where the love of the genre, I guess, essentially was born. But then I sort of started kind of veering off into other kind of spy jinx type directions. I liked a lot of non-Bond spy films. I think that, funnily enough, as much as I love the Bond films, and as much as the Bond films really were the pivotal source of inspiration for the book, I probably would say that my all-time favorite spy film is actually John Schlesinger's Marathon Man.
Is it safe?
I say it with a slight degree of discretion only because it's my favorite spy film. It is in no way, in my opinion, the greatest spy film. I think the greatest spy film is Hitchcock's North by Northwest.
I'm an advertising man, not a red herring. I've got a job, a secretary, a mother, 2 ex-wives, and several bartenders dependent upon me. And I don't intend to disappoint them all by getting myself slightly killed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit like Scott, who would say that, Remo Williams is his favorite spy film.
Scott, is that true? Is that really your favorite spy film?
I just love dodging bullets. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to climb the Statue of Liberty? That sounds like a lot of fun. I know, but I get it though. That I am the same. I mean, if you asked me like, what's my favorite Bond film versus what's the best Bond film, they're two very different.
Two different
things.
100%. I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, for me, if we just for a minute address the whole world of Bond, for me they're completely different. I think that the greatest Bond picture is From Russia with Love. But I think that my favorite Bond picture is probably Thunderball.
What sharp little eyes you've got.
Wait till you get to my teeth.
And I totally 100% agree with the way you guys have broken down and assessed Thunderball in the past, saying it's kind of like the lounging Bond picture, like the kind of like relax with your friends type Bond picture. I agree 100%. But it is the one that I kind of seem to revisit the most, despite the fact that I think that From Russia with Love is the best one that's ever been made. But yeah. So yeah, favorite and great, practically never the same.
Hey, Cam goes back to A View to a Kill all the time, so nobody's perfect.
No.
Do I really?
No, but you know what's funny is that I'm kind of with Cam to a very large degree, because kind of talking about the Bonds themselves, I'm with you, Scott, in that I think that Connery is the greatest Bond ever, without a doubt.
Who are you?
Bond. James Bond.
But my favorite Bond, because he was my Bond growing up, was Moore.
In our business, and your people get killed. We both know that.
As I say, my first exposure to the world of Bond in general and in the cinema was in 77 as a 6-year-old with Spy Who Loved Me. And then afterwards went to see every single Moore Bond picture as it came out theatrically, and then all the other ones that followed. But yeah, no, I guess we're proving a point here that favorite and greatest, they hardly ever coincide.